Hey, this is John. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Mechanical Mastery. In the last episode, we tried to balance our system because we weren't getting enough sulfur. So I tried to make some more lapis with this guy, which is going great. We've got like tons of lapis. I have no idea how much lapis we have. We have a lot of lapis. We have 26,000 lapis. I don't know how much that drawer will hold, but I went ahead and void upgraded him because the point is not, I mean, right now the point is not the lapis. We need the lapis. I don't think we need this much lapis, but we do need the lapis. But I think we actually have enough lapis for the entire game. So we probably don't need that, but it doesn't hurt. Um, the sulfur is the point, which we're not getting enough of. Um, Balancing this is proving extremely tricky. So you can see we've got a lot of the sulfur dust right now in both forms, but we are going down on mechanism and going up on thermal. And that's not what I want. So it's hard to balance this because of the way the item stuff works. When I say I want both items, use whatever you have, it just kind of keeps at least one in here. Like this one I switched to mechanism. This one I did as well. This one still has thermal sulfur. This one has mechanism sulfur. It's just whatever it had when it grabbed some out of the system and it could do. So that's what it did. So I don't know. I was having both these guys run on the thermal sulfur because I was going up on thermal sulfur, but then I wasn't. And I ran out of thermal sulfur to make gunpowder, so other things stopped working. So yeah, that happens. Um, Also, be careful, if you have one of these switches, turn things on and off like I do. It was fine, but because I tell this guy to turn off with a signal, not on, it meant that when I turn the system on, this guy spawned new wither. It was fine. We still had power, so it wasn't a problem. And I put this guy to on. He would do that again, but it shouldn't actually matter. He should spawn a wither and kill it, and it should be only one, um, because then he won't have anything else to outfront the system to make more withers. So he might spawn like 3. There should be enough stuff to spawn 1 in there right now. Is that correct? Yeah. So he'll spawn that one, and there's a backlog of enough to spawn 2 more withers in here. But that shouldn't be a problem as long as we have power, which we pretty much always will. Okay. Yeah, speaking of power, we're getting a good backlog of that. Now we have enough, I can actually see a line on this dial, or whatever you call this thing, this progress bar on the induction casing. So we have a decent backlog of power right now. Enough so that if we wanted to make sure that our polonium was being processed faster, we could do that. Like we've got, I mean, it will process, but the the night cycle really backs this stuff up. He is not really keeping up with this to do that. But again, I don't want to increase his output generally because I only want him to have enough power that he processes what is made all the time, which he is doing. He just can't do the backlog. But if I hit this for like 5 seconds, we will see the polonium just goes away. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, done. Turn that off, and there we go. He is fine again. Now we had what, 50-some billion RF? We have 45 now, so it's extremely power hungry, and it actually could use more power than that if we had more of those supercharged coils. I'm not going to do that, but you could do that. So we would need to generate way more power. We're only doing 3 million RF per tick, so we're going to have to increase our fission reactor to do any better, which we have room in here. He could burn more if he had more water. So it's not a problem to increase his burn rate. Right now, we're about a little bit more than halfway full, maybe 56%, like that, 60% full on fissile fuel, so that's going very well. I wanted to make sure that we had the reagents to get that basilic reagent, and to do that we need sulfuric acid. So you are finally starting to back up on sulfuric acid. That is good. Um, I went ahead and added these two guys at the end to make more sulfur dioxide, which is basically the reason we're not getting enough sulfuric acid. We're using it all to make the fuel. So once our fuel backs up, it should be fine. But I may want to increase fuel production soon. So, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm definitely going to play around and experiment with that. So let's see if we can solve our sulfur problems, though, because here is our sulfur problem. Flint is not a good catalyst. This guy makes rich slag, but rich slag is only a catalyst for the smelter. I can't find anything to do with this to get the sulfur dust and use that rich slag. So recipe for this is simply pulverizer, not a pulverizer catalyst. That's the only way we can get this kind of sulfur dust from thermal. So we need to make a better primary output catalyst than flint. So if we say pulverizer, and we say uses for the pulverizer, we get the list of catalysts. So flint is just the base guy. He's garbage. We don't want him. Looks like the basalt's powder would be better. His energy use would go way down, and his modifier would go way up. When the energy modifier goes down, the speed goes up. So that could definitely help us out. And we've got a ton of basilic reagent. So, or that's not right way. We have a ton of the basalt's powder. So we could do that. But, I mean, we do better, or with this guy, the enriched basilic reagent. So why shouldn't we use that? And I'm thinking, now that we do have this sulfuric acid backing up, maybe we should do that. So I'm not entirely convinced that that's a good idea. But realistically, just going from 1.1 to 1.25, that may not be enough. The energy modifier might help us out. I don't know about how much basalt's powder we have. We are making it automatically, but we're using it for other things as well. So will we have enough? I did run out of blaze powder for a while. The problem was not our production of blaze powder, but the fact that we ran out of lava in here. Yeah, there was no lava in here. When I took down the old generators, there was a fluid interface that was importing the lava. And that's how we were getting that in the system. I didn't have that anymore. So we had just been using the lava that was already in there. So this guy pulls in with an interface now. That's not right. With an importer now, just right in the system. So he is fast enough to keep up with just one importer, and I haven't seen any problems with getting more lava right now. So that, as far as I can tell, is fine for lava. Everything else is full. The only thing is the liquid meat, which we don't make any more of. We don't need it, so not worried about that. Oh, by the way, this guy, if you need more water, you can put speed upgrades in these importers to import faster. I did run out of water in the system at one point as well. So we are using a lot of water for the mechanism setup, so want to make sure you've got plenty of that. Okay, so I don't think using the basalt is really going to help out in making more of that. But because of the energy guy, it might. So it's kind of worth trying out. So let's try to insert this basalt. Is it powder or is it yeah, it's powder. So why does it have two energy modifiers here? Is it less powder? Is it this energy modifier or this energy modifier? Everything else is the same. This one is great. I would love this. This one is not as great. This one won't. I don't know if that's going to be helpful enough. But let's just experiment and see what happens. So if I put the basalt's powder, which is not in an exporter. Oh yeah, rich slag didn't do me any good. If we do this, do you get the basalt's powder? You do. Does it help at all for sulfur from thermal? Let's see here. You are slowly going up, but I want to use more of you. So let's make sure both of these guys are using the sulfur from thermal, and we will know if this is correct. So just take off mechanism sulfur, make sure it's thermal sulfur, and we can validate whether this was a reasonable change or not. So your sulfur, it is either exactly stable or going down. So it looks like it's going down. Let's change you to Basal's powder 2. And if we did that and took this guy off, would that work? Let's see here. 440 is my number. I've got one more pulverizer. This guy used to be for handling the sulfur that was output from the pulverizer that made coal. Now we make coal in an enriching factory and we don't get the sulfur anymore, so this guy would just kind of left over. But we can use Basal's powder in him too, because he is a dedicated sulfur guy as well. So if we do this, we should now have some idea of whether Basal's powder is a good idea. So, okay, we are slowly going down here. He may be just stable now. No, I don't think he is. Okay, he's going down. So Basal's powder is not going to work for this. The energy modifier is not helpful for this. So if we say this in a pulverizer, yeah, I don't know how it's going to tell me about the difference in 2.5 and 7.5. Okay, this is better than Flint, but not good enough. Let's see what we can do about this. Well, there's obviously no point in looking at the difference between basilic reagent and enriched basilic reagent, because if we could have this, we would definitely use it. We can just make this with essence of darkness. So there's no, sorry, I want a recipe. There's no reason to not go ahead and use the enriched. So our use for enriched is doubling the primary modifier. Energy is low and use chance is low. So we definitely want to do this again. Our sulfuric acid is going up, so hopefully the answer is we can now make the enriched basilic reagent. Let's see if A, we have any, and B, if we're making any. So are we making any? No, we're not. Okay, so, oh, no, you are. Okay, I'm sorry, you are. Never mind, you are. Okay, so you are making more because you could. All right, that's good to know that you're already making this stuff. That means we can go ahead and add you to these pulverizers, and we'll see what happens there. So let's start off by saying you should be enriched basilic reagent. There we go. And same thing for you. We can take out this, because we're not going to use it. This guy should also be the enriched basilic reagent. 2 of you. Take you out. And now let's see what happens to sulfur here. It feels like it's almost exactly stable. Like we have just barely stabilized this. It might be going down just ever so slightly. So even doubling this isn't necessarily getting us what we need. So what are we getting? Sulfur. Okay, first of all, what's up with our mechanism sulfur? I had run out of coal, but I thought I fixed that problem. You have plenty of water and oxygen. You're making it as fast as you can. You have that. You're doing good. You have that. You're doing good. That's uranium. You're using the sulfur from thermal. You shouldn't be a problem. You're using this guy, but that should be okay. Okay, I feel like it probably is stable, but these guys are just exactly stable, and I was using more of the mechanism when I had this guy running mechanism too. So I think the PRCs and the chemical oxidizers are pretty much identical in speed. So if we wanted to test that, we could increase our production of sulfur temporarily, just enough to get a backlog. And I know that I have now killed our oxygen. That's okay, we can get more. The problem for the oxygen is actually more about the pull-out rate than the production rate. You can see that he just kind of stops. So it actually would probably be beneficial not to speed him up, which he may be maxed out on speed-ups. Yeah, it would probably be better to actually make another electrolytic separator so that he pulls the oxygen out faster. I already have 2 pipes on this guy. He can't pull out any faster unless I made a 3rd channel. And I did that one. This is my waste. This is my plutonium channel. So I'd have to make one of these channels. I don't really want one just for oxygen. That seems silly to me. I did dump the excess here so that he wouldn't stop producing when he had too much hydrogen, which was slow to pull out as well. But having another electrolytic separator would probably help with that. The oxygen is actually stable. It's just that when I speed him up, it's not stable. So. But we could definitely look into that. And, having 2 of these at, 6 upgrades would be the same as having 1 of these at 8 upgrades. But he'd pull out oxygen faster for if I wanted to speed things up. So, yeah, you can now tell that, let me look at mechanism alone. Yeah. He is basically exactly stable with this. We got a backlog, but our backlog is fine. He is hovering right around 540 all the time. 550? Huh, maybe he's going up a little bit. Okay, well, you know what? I'm fine with that. I would rather have too much than too little. So I'm okay with that. Let's make sure that sulfur dust. Okay, we're not keeping up with production of this. And if I switch this guy to using mechanism sulfur, we'll run out of that. So we're going to have to add another pulverizer to stabilize our production of sulfur. So let me do that real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so here's our new pulverizer. He is turning our sulfur around. Okay. This guy is still going pretty good. I had to replace one of these guys with one of these guys. I think the 15% increase in secondary was not as good as just making this faster. So went ahead and did that. Let's just go ahead and make sure that sulfur is keeping up now. Sulfur is sulfur dust. Looks like it is not quite keeping up still, but it might be just ever so slightly stabilized. This is interesting. Why do you only have one of those? Did I mess you up? I messed you up. Okay. I want to make sure it wasn't a processing problem. Do I really need another pulverizer here? Seriously? I need like 5 of these guys? Okay, I mean, the obvious answer is watch of time. That's the obvious answer. We should just do that. But I don't want to speed up all of these machines, so I would probably want to make a new platform somewhere else that I could feel comfortable increasing my machines. I'm tired of spamming them. I was hoping I could do like one more, but even this is not keeping up, so we need to do better on this. So yeah, I'm thinking watch of time somewhere else. Like, I'll take this guy and we'll get one of those augments and see if we can make that work. And we'll just put that somewhere. I just don't want him anywhere where it's going to affect all these machines or a big swath of them. What is it? F3B? Yeah. He goes, I think, in a 4x4 area. So, yeah, right here he would affect all of these machines, which is, I mean, kind of nice. It kind of makes it easy to, like, I could put him in the center of a row of machines and just have, like, an entire 9x9 area covered, which is what I would want. but it's not what I want right now for all of these things. So, and I'm thinking you go. Oh, you don't actually. You go 4 up and down as well. Okay, so we could actually put this down here and have machines right here. I could take out this guy, which I need to expand him and do the rest of the stuff in the overhauled ore processing. So I'll have to tear him down anyway to rebuild this. And this guy, we have plenty of latex. We can rebuild him anywhere else. We've got like a huge backlog of latex, which we are not using. So this is not going to be a problem to worry about. I can just either dump this latex or expand the guy over there to get more. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll make a setup of machines that can be accelerated down here. And that's how we will improve our production of sulfur dust. So, when we come back next time, hopefully we will do something with that. Alright, hope you enjoyed today's episode because I think it's wrapping up point. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Come back and see us next time. And there's some buttons there you could hit if you like the video. I don't see why you wouldn't. Hey, you know, a lot of people do that thing where they like tell you that, you know, 80% of my viewers aren't subscribed. I don't actually track metrics on YouTube, so I have no idea how many people are subscribed, but you should do that too. So, like, subscribe, comment. I hit the bell too, whatever. I don't know. I'll see you later.